Good afternoon, everyone. This is Corey Lucci.
Live from our studios in New York City and San Francisco, it's First and Life with your hosts Corey Lucci and Steve Hoyam. We tackle talk with purpose.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is Corey Lucci and Steve Hoyam, and you are listening to First in Life. Sorry, we're having some issues today with the switchboard. Steve was trying to connect, and for some reason, it was not allowing him to go through Skype. So we apologize for that, but I'm here, and we welcome you to another exciting episode or show. It's roughly 2:05 on the East Coast, which means it's 11:05, I guess, on the West Coast. Again, this is First in Life, where we tackle talk. I'm actually in New Orleans, Louisiana today for a conference. I'll be on a panel in a couple hours about my vegan lifestyle and what it took for me to lose 100 pounds over a period of roughly 17 months. And so some really exciting times and great news. We've got what we think is another power-packed show. We'll be having Miss Theresa Cummings from Cummings Management, LLC, to come on. She's going to coach Steve and myself about training and making the transition into what you see your true corporate career slash dream being. For some folks, obviously, corporate is not always the best way to go. For others, it is. So that should be a very exciting, fun-filled segment. She'll be on probably around 20 past the hour, maybe 25 past the hour. As I said, you have to forgive us if you are tuned in live. We're just waiting on Steve now to call in. Not sure what's exactly going on. We've had problems now for almost 2 weeks, so at this point we're going to have to come up with a different format because Blog Talk has been letting us down. It was not me some week, it's him, if not both of us, so we're pretty much so over this. So again, we apologize for that. Excuse me. I guess I can go ahead and start with some of the latest sports news. I guess how about the Heat for some of you basketball fans out there? If you watch this series between the Pacers and the Heat, it has certainly gone back and forth, and it's been pivotal in that. The Pacers obviously came out. It's like that bully, the Pacers came out and said, well, okay, the Heat should be the repeating champions and all that. So they came out and they gave the first blow, that first punt. And they really got everybody's attention because they essentially took the first game from Miami in Miami. And that was somewhat of an upset, somewhat of a surprise. And then the Heat came back. If you guys have followed this series, and they obviously evened it up, but they didn't just even it up; they went to town on them. And for me, regardless, I guess whether you're a basketball fan or whatever, this is what you live for, because as I've shared with, many folks, I can't really watch basketball throughout the regular season just because there's 80-something games, and you almost feel like you almost feel as if half the nights the guys aren't truly playing. I know I was fortunate enough to go out to a couple of games this year to see the Brooklyn Nets play. I'm not going to say they didn't play hard, but there was some nights where I was like, okay, surely, no, I don't know what it feels like to be on the road and to travel and to go from city to city, because football obviously was a little bit different. We were pretty much so sleeping in our own beds Monday through Thursday, at least, if not Monday through Friday, and then you traveled on a Saturday, and then you went to that city. So, for instance, if we were playing Chicago, we would leave Buffalo around midday on a Saturday. You fly there, you get there, you check into your hotel. You usually have about 6 hours free to grab yourself some dinner. If you have friends or family in that city, they usually come over to your hotel. And then that night, you had your team meeting, if you will, which was the last of the last, which really wasn't even a meeting. It was just a checkup, And you went to your hotel room and you essentially went to sleep, and you got up the next day and you rode the bus to the stadium and you played the game. But guess what? You only did that for technically 16 weeks out of an actual season. So you pretty much knew if you were 8-8, you were going to make the playoffs. And if you were, at least won 10 games, maybe 11 games, then you were all right, fine. So basketball, it's 80-something games. So they play. I just don't think some of the teams play as hard early on. Obviously, this playoff season, I think some of the excitement has been lost for several reasons at this point. Russell Westbrook was injured early on, so he pretty much all but settled the Oklahoma City chances of actually making it back to the finals. Kobe Bryant tore his Achilles tendon about 3 weeks ago, so that pretty much sealed the deal for the Lakers. So when you look at teams out of the West, they were, I think, by far the favorites, although the Lakers haven't really played up to par. And then now, you have these thundering, old, but still finding some kind of way to get it done, San Antonio Spurs. It is amazing. They've got Gianno. I can't even say his name right. I think it's Gianno Mobley or something like that. They have Tim Duncan. They have Tony Parker. So these are, considered their big three. And these guys have been playing together well over 10 years. Some of them, I think, Tim Duncan's probably been there about 14 years, maybe even longer. And it's crazy because what we're essentially seeing right now is they are defining the test of time and father time / age, because they're sitting at home resting right now, and they're waiting on the winner of this series between the Heat and the Pacers. And if you saw the game last night, as we know, the Heat just went back up a game. So this is a crazy series. I don't know what's going to happen, how this thing is going to actually play out. But what I will say is that, again, for someone that's not a regular season basketball fan, there's nothing like the playoffs, because as Charles Barkley and Kenny Smith says, and Ernie Johnson and Shaq say, it's simple. You win or you go home. So with that, I think Steve has joined us. Steve, are you there?
I am here. Thanks for holding down the fort, Corey.
Oh,
I don't know where to be frustrated.
No, I just told our listeners that this is probably our second or third week having a problem, so we're gonna have to fire blog talk and find some other service because this is getting to be crazy, and I don't know if it's blog talk mixed with Skype or if it's Skype mixed with blog talk, but certainly one of them at this point responsible for this. But just so you know, I've already filled them in that, and I'll say this again, they are listening to First and Life, where we tackle talk. I told them about our guest that will be coming on at roughly 20 minutes to 25 minutes past the hour. Excuse me. And I started talking about the NBA playoffs and how I'm not a big basketball fan, but that by far the best time to watch NBA basketball, man, is during the actual playoff season because it's really simple. You win or you go home. And I don't know if you heard this part or not, but I was also saying that San Antonio Spurs are essentially sitting at home right now, resting, waiting on the winner of this series between the Heat and the Pacers. So you want to talk about man, define father time. You know, you have Duncan, Parker, Mano, Ginobili. They have literally, man, defied father time and everything else. And I think if they're fortunate enough to win this championship again, I think between their big three, this will be their fourth championship. So that's unheard of, and that is crazy in today's sports world, man.
Well, definitely. For me, and I'm kind of with you. I'm not the world's biggest basketball fan, but you're absolutely right. When the playoffs come, this is the time to shine. This is the time to watch. You're going to watch some amazing athletic displays when you're in the playoff situation with professional basketball, in baseball, in hockey. With football, for me anyway, it doesn't matter if it's game one of the regular season or the playoffs. Each and every game has a lot of meaning. You can't say that about any other sport, right? I mean, baseball, the guys show up. I'm not going to rip on other athletes. They're all talented in their own ways. But, when we talk about the sport industry, I mean, baseball, basketball, hockey, to me, they're getting ripped off. Because people are paying hundreds of dollars to show up to a meaningless sporting event. Which I'm getting way, way, way off topic here. But
no,
that's
you're fine
my
because you know what, Steve? No, you're not, because you know what? Maybe and maybe some of our callers or some of our listeners may think, oh wow, you guys are being biased, because I was literally saying, with football it was totally different. You had 16 weeks, and you knew that if you were 8-8, that was a good chance you were not going to make it. But not only did you have 16 weeks, we were able to come home, if you were married, sleep in your own bed with your wives and your kids, Monday through Friday. And Saturday you travel. Whereas basketball, some of these poor guys, dude, they just go, they may have a 5-game set, 7-game set, 8-game set, where they're just constantly traveling and living out of a hotel. So, looking back on it, I think we did all right. I really do.
I do
too. I do.
I don't know what it would be like, frankly, to show up for a game that didn't mean anything,
Whoa.
Which is like 80% of the games,
Yeah, no, hey, I literally was saying the same thing. It's like, well, they don't really play. I mean, look, what's the difference in being the second seed and the 5th seed in the NBA playoffs? Because guess what? If you looked at the Western Conference this year, hey, depending upon who you ask, the second seed was really just as good as the fifth seed. Right. And I must say, if Russell Westbrook had not gotten injured, OKC would probably have been back in this thing again. And if Kobe Bryant have not gotten injured. I think, the Lakers obviously would have been